Hello. Today we're going to be going live with Roshni Chopra from the Women Inspiring Network. As you all know, Women Inspiring Network took shape during the lockdown. Our current series are on mental health and sustainability going on. We got a really good response on the film series, which we did in June and July with a 10 million reach. We've also done a webinar where we had 70 speakers and women from different aspects of life, which included media personalities, women change makers, influencers, business women, women from all walks of life. We've also got positive voices of women across lockdown, 100 videos in total. Next week, we have a program on women entrepreneurship with Jai Hind College, where we have noted influencers Garima Bhandari as well as Harpreet Suri from Mom Wears Prada. And then we have Mansi Zaveri from Kidstop Press and Kamini Arora from Yellow Stripes. So now we are just going to be live. Roshni is just joining us. Hello, Roshni.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for joining us at the Women Inspiring Network.
It's
And
my pleasure.
As you all know, Roshni has many facets. She's an actor with a huge following. And of course, I love her Instagram grid. And I was just telling our viewers about our Women Inspiring Network that how we are doing our film series, which are film actors, which are beyond just acting,
Yeah.
And we've had a great response where we had noted filmmakers like Reema Das, Revati, Meghna Ghai. Then we had Vani Tripathi from Censor Board, Shamita, of course now you. And we had collaborated with Inox and Business World and had already got a 10 million reach on social media. And next, we are doing a webinar for Jai Hind College on women entrepreneurship, where we're going to be joined by, which is next week, where we are being joined by 4 noted entrepreneurs and influencers. So that's something to watch out for. And the Women Inspiring Network has really got a lot of positive voices of women from India, especially during the lockdown, whether they are a media personality, an influencer, change maker, entrepreneur. And it's been a great response. So thank you so much for joining us, Roshni, and tell our viewers a bit about your journey into, because the other day I did hear you're from Sundarnagar and then you shifted to Bombay and your acting career. So please tell us a bit about your journey.
So I think the journey is still continuing. That's the most beautiful part, is that, we are all on a journey. As far as mine is concerned, I have always been someone who really just goes with the flow and reads the signs. So it's, for me, I was acting in theater and on stage in Delhi, and it was always a hobby. I never really thought I would take it up as a profession. But I went to do my master's in communication studies in England. I came back. I actually joined a company in their marketing division, a liquor company, Seagram's. At that time they were called, now they're Pernod Ricard. And, just organically, because I was doing so much theater, I started getting like offers to be on TV. And I think the first show I did was a cricket show. And that also, I never really... kind of left my job. I would just go shoot the show and then come back to work as well. For the longest time, I held my job as well as did, cricket anchoring. And then I remember that my then boyfriend and now husband, Siddharth, really wanted to move to Bombay because he had studied film in America. And he was like, listen, I want to make films. That's where my heart lies, but I cannot leave you. So come with me to Bombay. And really just on a whim, on like, a little lovesick whim that it was, I was like, okay, so I quit my job. I came to Bombay, and I remember that I thought, okay, now I have to get a job here. And I auditioned for a show which was going to be made by Ekta, it was a remake of Orange County. That show never got made, but I got picked from that audition for Kasam Se, and then that became whatever it did. And then I did lots and lots and lots and lots of TV. And then I decided to take a break when I had my kids, because television can be very consuming and you're on the set for hours, and I'm the kind of person, if I'm doing something, I really need to do it with all of my heart. So when I had my babies, I really wanted to just be there for them and enjoy new motherhood. And I have two sons now. So then at that point, sort of, I started doing other stuff that I could do from home and that I could explore. So there were lots of things I wanted to explore. There was design, there's curating, and there's fashion and style. So all of that kind of comes together in a melting pot on Instagram. So I feel like there are many different branches of the same very creative soul on a journey, just discovering what's next. And if you ask me what's next tomorrow, I don't know. I can't say. But I do know that when something comes in front of me, I'll know whether.
So I can see you look really, really beautiful. You've had two kids and you keep yourself fit. How do you keep yourself fit? I know you have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. Yes.
Yeah. So there are two or three different things that I really live by. One is to never die. I don't ever diet. I eat everything, but I eat it in small measure and at the right time. So I feel that, even if you want to eat mithai, if you want to eat cake, like I eat chocolate every single day of my life, but I'll eat a little bit. So that it's not that when I'm eating it, I'm like, just crashing in on it kind of thing. And also I don't eat post 7 p.m. So like, in Ayurveda, they say Surya Ast se Suryodaya tak nahi khana chahiye. So that's something I do. I don't really exercise much, like not hardcore, that gym and all that. I do a little bit of yoga and I go for walks, but I just keep active. I do my own work, and even at home, like I'm always moving around. I'm always on the move, always doing stuff. And the one big thing that I really believe is mental baggage. So I feel like weight is just something that is a lot of thought and a lot of mental baggage accumulated. And the more sort of stuff you're holding on to which is not serving you, whether it's anger, whether it's resentment, whether it's frustration, that starts building up, and that makes you do negative things to your body. So I really believe in just clearing the mind as much as, when you cleanse your face at night, you should cleanse your brain also at night.
I can see someone saying, I agree, intermittent fasting works best. Shreya has written that.
Yeah, it's great. Humans are not supposed to eat that much. We've made a big hawa out of food, and that, God, we have to eat. I'm a foodie. I love food. I live for food. I love cooking it. I love eating it. I love going to restaurants. But I just eat like a little bit, as much as they say in Ayurveda again. It's like this much is how much your stomach is. So you should never have more than this much on your plate. Never eat more than this much at one go.
Yeah, that's a good tip. And tell us about your first audition. And did you go through any workshops or acting schools? Like, if anyone wants to make a career in acting or TVs or films, if you could guide our viewers.
Yeah, so I never really did any acting workshops because I had been acting on stage since the age of 5. So I had to learn to stop acting, like to not act, to be natural. Because somehow I was always like, even my husband jokes, he's like, we can never take a candid picture of you because every time I point the camera, the pose straight away comes. So, for me, it was the opposite. I didn't really do any classes. I think observing humans is the best. Having a curious mind, observing humans, really kind of engaging with life on a very palpable sensory level is the best thing that actors, wannabe actors can do. As far as auditions go, I think the process is very streamlined now. It wasn't so streamlined earlier. There are casting directors, and there's so much content that's being made of all kinds. Earlier they would be like, you had to look a particular way to be an actor, but now there's so much content, and you can get cast, and you could explore a whole career in that. So I think my only advice would really be to take care of your body, your mind, your heart, not get discouraged, because a lot of people get very discouraged and lose hope. That's not a nice thing. to happen. So, if you really want to act and just send that intention out into the world, contact the best casting directors, hone your skills, and just stop thinking about all the hurdles that come in the way. Because the more you focus on the negative, the more negative is going to happen. So think about positive things, and it'll happen for you.
Positive will happen. That's so true. And so you have two kids, and how do you balance between work and kids, and how do you keep them engaged, especially during these times?
So, I think there's this meme of like all the different hands of the different Devi. I really think women are like that. Like we are multitaskers by nature. We are made to be able to do many different things at the same time. And yeah, we have special superpowers. I think when you become a mother, you become even more you have even more special superpowers. So the one way that we really manage is by everyone having a good schedule. I think that, even the children thrive when they have a schedule, when they know, okay, now is my TV time, now is my playtime, now is my bath time, now is my food time. So when
Yes,
those broad things are done, then it's
then
quite
they're
easy.
fine.
Yeah, it's quite easy. So having said that, of course, work from home is very challenging. And if you're ever trying to work from home, you have to be open to the idea that you will have kids all over you at some point. They may even come into this live because I haven't locked the door. So I
Yeah,
don't know if they do or if they don't.
yeah.
But I think just having a schedule in place and at the same time not being too rigid about it. Something went wrong, so chalo, it went wrong then. Okay, you
Yeah.
couldn't shoot today because you weren't in the mood, or your stomach was cramping, or your son threw up all over, whatever. It's okay. Go a little with
Yeah,
the flow as well.
yeah.
So that's what we do.
No, no, I totally agree with you. I have a 4-year-old,
Yeah,
and we are working from home for the last 4 years, but I've been super efficient. So schedule really helps.
yeah,
She started some online classes. That's like a half an hour, 40-minute class, which is just art or music. Then my
yeah,
husband pitches in, because one of the parents should sit when she's on the laptop. And yeah, so it's
yeah,
all about scheduling and balancing and,
yeah.
and you have a huge fan following on social media. So tell us a bit about, how have you built a fan base there?
I
And
like to think of them as my social media family. I don't think of them as a fan following at all. Like, I feel
uh,
like, like how I would share something with my sister or my best friends, and
uh,
I love sharing stuff. Like, if I find a nice product, I will find people who need that product and go and tell them, whether it's my neighbors, whether it's my friends. I'm kind of like that.
yeah,
Always been like that. Like, I have my own magazine running in my head, like, file this under beauty, file this under fashion, file this under accessories. So I feel like uh, social media and Instagram is a great platform if you really do want to just share stuff with people of similar interests. And every time I get a message from someone, every time I get a DM saying, hey, I tried this cookie recipe and it was amazing, or ordered the same cream, or ordered the same jewelry or whatever, I really feel like, good, this is my extended family, we're sharing stuff. And so many times people write into me telling me, hey, check this out or whatever.
yeah. But your
Ah,
your grid is absolutely, your grid is gorgeous and beautiful, especially the stuff which you're doing on home and
yeah,
fashion. And
thank you.
I was hoping for some tips for the Women Inspiring Network, like how do we grow up, followers.
I
I
think
mean,
you
we are
have to
getting inspired by
pick your
everybody.
jam. So, like, what is the vibe? Is the vibe sort of very black and white and moody? Is the vibe very warm and glowy? Is the vibe, like, this is, now I'm speaking purely aesthetically, like when you're curating something, it's very easy to achieve a particular tone once you know what is the tone that you want to achieve. So, like in my case, because my life is so multidimensional and there's literally no box that we can put it into, I felt that just having this sort of burst of color and this dreaminess is closest to my personality. It's closest to who I am in real life, and I wanted to kind of put that stuff out. So, like, I always say, like, whatever I put out is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just some of the highlights, but I want it to be inspirational. I want it to be fun. I want it to be relevant, and I want people to be able to come back and refer to it as well. Because now I feel, you know, a lot of the media that we read is all like manipulated in some way. If you could say that, like, a lot, there's
Yeah.
no independent journalism that is in the luxury space. They are just independent voices, you know. And you want to know something, then you need to follow the people that you trust. Who you trust will have an honest and a clear voice, and, you know, share honest feedback with you, not all the time sponsored, or not all the time you know content which is paid for.
But I must say, your content looks like a digital magazine coming into
It's
life.
my own private little mood board. I'm telling you, it started like that. It
Yes.
just started like that, you know, like making my own private mood board, going, oh, this is nice, let's put this up. It's like my album. Sometimes I also go through it and I'm like, oh wow, this was there, this was nice. It's
And I can see some comments. Vicky says, we all miss you on TV. Mitra is asking you, why are you not coming back to TV?
So there are many reasons for that. One of them is still that my younger son is only 4 years old, and I am still really, I find it very hard to leave them for extended periods of time, and I'm not convinced about leaving them yet. So that's one big reason. The other big reason currently is obviously Corona and lockdown. Nobody's going anywhere. I am not leaving my house. Um, and a third reason is that I'm also sort of waiting for that, you know, to know when that project comes in, when it's like a yes. So I guess it'll all happen in at the right time.
And so coming back, how can influencers, play a role such as you in uplifting society in some way, or inspiring, let's say, more women in our country? Because Women Inspiring Network is all about inspiration. What role can influencers like you play?
I think that firstly, it shouldn't be called influencer. You shouldn't influence someone. You should inspire them. You know. Secondly, I think people in a position of responsibility where you have so many people who are following you, it's your responsibility to choose what you say, and how you say it and why you say it, you know. So for example, the fashion industry has been blamed for being, you know, like excessively wasteful, and so many seasons, and every season there's a new trend. So I started something called Revive, which is like just restyling old pieces from your closet and wearing them again and again and again. It's cool to repeat, just do that.
Yes.
So I feel that, you know, you have to be a voice that picks up conversations that are relevant, that need to be said. And yeah, that's very gratifying for a person like me, you know, to have a platform where I can talk about stuff, thinking stuff, but also
Yeah.
stuff that's fun. Like, I'm also a person who loves dressing up and
Yeah.
etc., and I love having fun, but, you know, I do have a conscience about it, and I'm happy to share and speak about it with people.
In fact, we are doing a Women Inspiring Network is collaborating with IIT, and we're coming up with a series called Fashion, Tech, and Sustainability. So,
Yeah.
again, it's about reusing and how you can avoid wastage, because, now you're doing a lot of stuff digitally,
Yeah.
and,
But you
how
know,
we
even
can be.
sustainability, let me tell you that a lot of sustainable fashion brands are very expensive. Okay. So when you
Yes.
go to buy a sustainable, if you say, okay, I'm only going to buy sustainable clothes, they're very expensive, those clothes.
Yes.
And after a few washes, they start looking old as well. And the
Yes.
wastage is still the same, whether it's a sustainable brand or whether it isn't. So ultimately, I think sustainability has to be interpreted in terms of like responsible use.
Yes.
You know, even if you're wearing
Responsible
Zara,
use
even
of.
if you're wearing Mango, even if you're wearing H&M, if you're wearing Vero Moda, whatever, it doesn't have to be a sustainable brand as much as you have to have like that many wears out of it, and as much as you have to just have stuff that you really love that you can rewear rather than use and throw.
Yes, that is very, very true. And what do you think would what do you see the future for social media? Because we are seeing it evolving at a pace which is faster than your traditional media. So what's your
Yeah.
take on that?
It's absolutely crazy. You know, I was thinking in when we were in school, they used to teach us this computer language, C++ and all this coding. You remember when you, I
Yes.
don't know if you studied it or not, but I studied it. I was
Basic. It was
thinking,
called
you
basic.
know, yeah, you'll be teaching now future generations of like how to navigate social media apps. I mean, they should be, or maybe they already are marketing courses on that, because communication is all moving into the digital space. Traditional media, I feel, is it's there, but it's not in the foreground as much as, you know, I get my news off of my social media. I don't really get my news off of the newspaper. You know, I've moved to reading magazines on my phone or on my iPad rather than subscribing to them. So social media is not going anywhere. It's growing like crazy. I think there needs to be a lot of talk about mental health around how we use it, you
Yes.
know, and
Without trolling and things like that.
yeah, I think you need to learn how to, it's a beast. You need to learn how to ride it and not be ridden by it, you know.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to use it for your entertainment or for your education or for your connection, communication, whatever it may be, but not let it rule your life or take up too much of your time or
Yeah.
influence you in too many ways.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Ishita has written us a question. What has been the best project in terms of acting in your life? I mean, which one have you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, before I answer that, I can see there's some Alia Ansari who's talking absolute rubbish. Can you just block them or throw them out of this chat, please? Because, you know, this is happening these days whenever people are going live. There's some people who have no manners and just want to be, what you may call it, included in
Yes.
the limelight and want to like just attract very negative attention. So we
Yes.
mustn't ignore them. We must call them out and throw them out. Okay.
Yes.
So, sorry, what was the question?
Most,
Favorite
the
TV
projects
project.
which
Oh my
you've
God.
enjoyed. Yes.
So many of them. I mean, Kasam Se was very challenging for me because I didn't describe to any of the values of that show, but it was a very big hit show. I loved doing Desi Girl. It was a reality show where we lived in a village, and you know, we had to literally live with the villagers, and none of that was scripted. And that was an amazing show. So I really loved being a part of that. And yeah, I mean, I've done so many comedy shows, Comedy Nights with Kapil, Comedy Circus. Those have all been lighter, fun. I've loved anchoring them. It's hard to pick one project.
And tell me, who has been your role model and who inspired you to be an actor?
Ooh, that's very hard. I used to love Aishwarya Rai as a kid. I still think she's the most beautiful. You know, whenever her movies used to come out, then we used to go into that zone, only me and my friends. We'd be like singing Dola Re Dola in our bedrooms and stuff. I mean, I really looked up to her just like for her amazing beauty. And in terms of acting, let me see. I mean, Meryl Streep, according to me, is just one actor that every time you watch her,
Yeah.
you know, you just get so inspired. You're like, I want to do something like that. Jennifer Aniston of late in the morning show, I feel like her entire career she played this like, you know, blonde bimbo character, and suddenly in the morning show it was like, wow, look at this woman of substance. It was just waiting to be given that role, you know. So I'm excited that there's more roles being written for women.
Even she acted so well for Devil Wears Prada, like, you know.
Yeah, that Meryl Streep. Yeah, of course. Meryl is another. She's a school of thought, I feel.
And I can see from Shreya, wasn't it tough to lose weight post baby? You lost weight easily with least effort. And
yeah. So this is something a lot of people ask me. So let's talk about this. Firstly, I breastfed exclusively for a year and a half each time. Okay. We did no bottles. We did no formula. We did nothing. This is not something that I'm saying everybody should do. Everybody has their own journey with breastfeeding, and, you know, respect to each person of how they do it. But for me personally, I feel that it really helped me lose a lot of weight. So that was one thing. Second thing was, eat right. Don't eat less. Eat right. You know, eat lots of fiber. Instead of white rice, eat red rice or brown rice. See if gluten is not suiting you, try and go gluten free. I gave up milk. I gave up all milk products other than cheese, which I still can't give up. But I mean, for me, I lost weight the natural way. I never did anything unnatural, both times, both pregnancies. And by the first 3-4 months, I was back to my normal shape without working out, without working very hard, just by eating right, thinking right, embracing the moment, not fighting against it. You know, I also had those moments when I came out after my kids were born, when I was in front of a mirror looking at my body, saying, that is not my body, you know. There's this thing, you come home from the hospital, you have this very cute baby and everyone's gushing over, and then you go into the loo and then you just look at your
I know.
body in the mirror for the first time and you're just like, oh my, it's not pregnant and full and beautiful anymore, you know, it's just like a bunch of just sagging flesh. So I did have those moments, and I didn't let them get the better of me. For me, I really sort of said, okay, how do I want to go about this? I want to go about this in the right way. I want to do it naturally. I want to not stress myself out, you know. So I found what foods were suiting me. I found meal plans that worked well, that filled my belly and filled my heart. And yeah, just again, eating at the right time. I think, you know, if you sort out the mind, the cravings go away. So that's
Yes.
another really big thing. Like the more you meditate, the more you control, let go of control, and the more you come in sync with
With
your
yourself.
natural organic way of being, the
That's
less
it.
you are fighting in your head, so the less cravings you have.
Yeah. See, also, I feel COVID has really made people, a lot of other people who were like always in a rush, have made people, look inwards. There has
It's
been a balance.
it's
There has been
forcible
a,
timeout. Literally, it's
yes,
like, you know, when my children
yes,
start behaving badly, I ask them to go to their room and think about what they're doing. I tell them, we'll talk
yes,
about this, but please go and take some 5 minutes off and just
yeah,
think about your behavior. It's forceful timeout. I feel like COVID has
yes,
given all of us, hi
yes.
Sparga.
You know,
So yeah, it's forceful timeout. Like we just have to learn to stay still, to embrace stillness, and to know that the flow of life hasn't stopped just
yes,
because, you know, we're not out there running some crazy race.
yes.
We're
And
still in the
Brijesh is,
flow.
yes. And Brijesh has asked us, sports anchoring, how much do you miss?
Not at all. Can I be really honest? Sports anchoring for a woman is a very high stress job. Because firstly, when there's a woman on a cricket show, everyone is out to say, "Arey, isko kuch nahi aata hai." So I used to wake up at 4 a.m. to do like research and write down my points and read the international press. And it was like a real tough job for me. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I was so scared of being judged and so scared of like people ranting, that I wanted to, like, you know, write stuff down, be over prepared. So yeah, that's one of the most challenging things I've done, actually, cricket anchoring,
Yeah.
because the whole country is watching, and because it's very high pressure and it's all live, so you can't really like goof up. If you goof up, it'll be.
And how do you take care of your beautiful skin? Please give us some tips. One of our viewers, your life, what would it be?
Always take off your makeup at night if you're wearing some. I don't wear makeup on most days unless I'm you know, shooting, or like unless I feel like it, let's put it that way. But always, even if you're not wearing makeup, I like to double cleanse at night. So I'm using a moringa oil by Dr. Shades and then a foaming face wash after that, and I feel like double cleansing really works for the skin. Another amazing ingredient is vitamin C, which brightens the skin up. It's like, you know, vitamin C, they say even when you eat, it's really good for your immunity. And so it's amazing for the face as well. That's another ingredient. And yeah, hydrate, drink lots of water. If your skin is dry, use a lot of like oils like rosehip oil, avocado oil, and natural face masks from the kitchen, literally.
Yes. And Ashima is asking if there's one song that would describe your life, what would that be?
Yeah, that's such a beautiful question. I can't answer it off the top of my mind. Um, yeah, it's a really nice question, but I can't answer it off the top of my mind. I do love, I'll tell you, there's a few songs that I really, really love that I listen to all the time. So one is River of Dreams by Billy Joel. In the middle of the night. Love that, River of Dreams. Another song that I love is Will You Be There by Michael Jackson. And two Hindi songs that I love are both from Barfi. One is called Q, and the other one is Fir Le Aaya Dil. So maybe a mishmash of all of these songs.
And have you seen evolution of women, especially in your field, in the last few years? How have they evolved? Are there more
I think
opportunities?
social media has played a big role in women having a platform to voice their voices.
Yes.
And when I was talking earlier about choosing which direction do you want to speak about, which direction do you want to take your conversation in, and having the authority and having the independent medium to do that is amazing. So I feel that women are evolved from the beginning. We're just able to talk about it now, and share it. And with those who are feeling less empowered, to be there and to hold their hand and to say, no, it's okay, speak your mind, say your mind, embrace your body, embrace yourself, embrace your thoughts. And I do think that, yes, social media has played a huge role in that, because you can follow people who inspire you to be that way, and you can choose your community.
And Suparna has written, you decorate your home beautifully. Can you
Thank
please
you.
tell us your idea?
So
Can you
my
please? Yeah, corners and balcony and bedroom, they look awesome.
Thank you. I have this basic obsession with making any place into this comfy, cozy zone with, like, this is from the time I was a kid. I used to study for my exams. I would light candles while I was studying for my exams and have aromatherapy diffusers. It's just from the time I'm a child, I just love creating nice zones and nice spaces. And yeah, so the balcony, I discovered it now. I've never posted about my balcony before this lockdown because, I've never had the time. I guess I've always been traveling, always been in great places, great locations. So never thought of taking pictures in the house. But
I can totally relate to that. I have a terrace garden, and
yeah,
during the lockdown, the way I have used it in Delhi, like it's nobody's business. From
completely.
gardening to walking to playing.
And it's just made you thankful
Yeah,
for small things. Like
yeah,
you're like, wow, I have this amazing
yes,
view of trees. I can see
yes,
trees. I can hear
yes.
birds. And why didn't I ever hear them before? So I really think that they have been some positives of
Lockdown.
this time.
Especially,
Yeah.
yes, it was raining in Delhi yesterday. The weather was nice. You can go out on the terrace. Otherwise, the heat would sort of be
Yeah.
unbearable.
Yeah.
And Pokesh has been writing, what has been the most windy place you've traveled to before the corona lockdown?
Oh, windy. Well, I mean, London can get pretty crazy with the winds. There's like the wind chill factor goes up a lot in November, December. There's a place in India called Oli, which is in Uttarakhand, which is India's ski destination. That can get pretty windy as well. My balcony gets super windy sometimes too, because that's the sea facing. So, there's like a crosswind that happens.
And what is the advice you always carried with you, and what has been your biggest fear?
So it's strange you asked that question in that combination, because my dad as a kid always used to tell me, don't be scared of anything. And that's one advice I've always carried with me. It's like, don't be scared of anything. You're loved no matter what. And that's a really big thing, I think, to just carry in your heart. And then another advice which came from my mom, as cliched as it sounds, has been sort of be in touch with yourself, follow your heart. So how do you follow your heart? You have to first know your heart, for which you need to spend time with yourself, be in touch with yourself.
And so, which profession have you liked better? Like traveling, acting, be inspiring everybody. Now, I'm not going to use the word influencer for you, but inspiring everybody on your social media. Which role have you enjoyed the most?
You know, I'm the kind of person that's always happiest in the moment. So I'm happiest here right now, speaking with you, being on this platform. And I'm very grateful and happy for all the stuff that I've done in the past and all the stuff that's to come. But if you ask me when am I happiest, I'm happiest now, because it's never too late to be too happy. You need to be happy now, you know.
And on that note, I'm going to ask you my last question, a winning message to inspire our viewers, especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities who have aspirations and dream to become an actor.
Um, I would say don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough, ever. You know, that's one of the most important things, is just don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough. Just know from inside that you are good enough for every dream that you have, and you're good enough to achieve every desire that you want, and that all you have to do is just know the desire and go after it, and it'll happen for you.
Thank you so much, Roshni, for joining us. You've actually inspired me. Whenever we do these live conversations or people who've sent us their videos, there's so much we are learning each day. I mean, the reason the Women Inspiring Network was put together because I've been interested in women leadership and women issues for a long time. But the lockdown
Yeah.
really gave me the time to focus on it strategically. I mean, internationally, I have had the great fortune of meeting some of the Fortune 500 women leaders like Indra Nooyi and Ariana Huffington and Sheryl Sandberg. But I just felt like, you know, the idea was to mentor and inspire and network with all the women in the country. You know, whether they are young or old, every day we are learning from each other. And it has been a great journey for the last 4 months for us. And thank you so much for joining us, Roshni, at the Women Inspiring Network. And hope to see you
My
soon.
pleasure.
And thank you so much. Bye bye. Bye bye. Yes.